Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
Good evening, barflies and lounge lizards. Oh, wait a minute. That's somebody else's stick. I can't do it. Hi there. I'm Dan Holfield. Welcome to Last Man Standing, the Thursday evening edition. Sorry about there not being a stupid o'clock for the last couple of weeks. Joe Dog has his reasons, and we're not going to go into that. So it'll be okay. With me tonight, we got John Scarborough, we got Richie, we got Aunt Donna, and hail, hail, the gang is all here. Not hail pale, but
we got a Mike, Jimmy, and a thesis.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And that blasted moth is still fluttering around my monitor, and I'm going, you stay away from my room.
He just wants a little sip.
I don't care what it wants. It'll leave.
Went to the store to get my favorite Sam Adams. Summer Ale.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah, it's the middle of July. They've already got the Oktoberfest out.
Really?
Sorry, bastards.
I'll have to have Carl look at mine Sunday.
Hey, Dollar General's probably already got Halloween candy out. I don't know.
Do they ever actually put it up? I mean, I thought they just left it out there all the time.
No. A matter of fact, by Labor Day, they'll probably have the Christmas stuff out. So,
Dawn and the Quarter Tree still have their graduation stuff out.
Well,
and the 4th of July stuff.
Oh yeah, but you forgot back to school, so that got that big.
Yeah. Yep, that'll do it. Richie, how's the 3D printer going, or are you in the middle of something at the moment?
Fireworks.
Been going interesting. Yesterday, I 3D printed some chainmail. Just as a test, I'm going to have to use a stronger material because as I was taking it off the supports, some of the rings ripped. but it's going to be a cool addition to the plethora of other things. I'm still trying to figure out what I need to do for this Nerf blaster piece here to try to get this slot a little bit wider. Not the green room,
A file.
but
Just
it's
a flat little file.
I think I just need to print it in a vertical configuration, because the one that I did print that was vertical, that part of the print was perfect. So it's just that print in that configuration, it takes almost 8 hours to print, where laying flat, it takes like 3.5 hours to print. Because the way that my 3D printer works versus something like Joe Dog's. Joe Dog's is basically an extruded printer, so it's basically squirting stuff out like a hot glue gun and adding layers. Mine starts out in a liquid vat with the build plate coming down, and there's basically a large cell phone screen underneath that's shining UV light up, and that UV light is causing the things to cure to the build plate, so that it'll add layer by layer as it comes out of the goop. So it's just mine is faster if we have the same width and length of something. His is faster if there's height involved. Where mine will just take longer for the height, and because mine can do an entire build plate in a single flash, layer per layer, but once it gets past a certain height, then his would already be done, where mine is still building to that height.
It's a shame they can't figure out a way to make one that does both.
Well,
Works from both ends.
Being as there are two different design concepts involved, I mean, one of them toothpaste coming down, and one of them a tank full of goop where it gets cured and the build plate goes up. It'd be kind of hard to combine the two, I would think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not an expert. I don't even play one on TV. I don't play anything on TV. I'll leave TV to my wife. She found her favorite football song for her beloved Portsmouth team. And hey, makes her happy. I'm all for it. Mike Jimmy, time to do prep work and head out for work. Well, have a good day. And Ace Bonnie is here. And let's see. Well, he's been here for a little while, evidently, and I didn't notice. I'm
Not that long.
pissed.
Haven't seen Ace in ages, and he hasn't been in the green room lately either.
This is true. Joe Dog, it's your own fault. I mean, well, at least she gave me a like. You want to come in and debate the merits of your style 3D printer with Richie's style 3D printer? I'm sure that John and Aunt Donna and I have a book we can read.
I have several.
I need to get some new books.
I know where you can get a few.
Yeah. Always promote.
Yeah,
Well,
did
fine,
you?
take it back. Hit it 2 or 3 times. I don't care. It's not like I'm trying to get monetized here.
Yeah, did you see Carl's post where I sold all of his books to his ex supervisor? He was in town and we were having lunch with him and a couple of the other people who had retired from the office, and I just meant to show the 3 books to Kevin, and all of a sudden he's like, "Well, thank you." I turned to Carl and I said, "I think I accidentally just gave your books to Kevin." And before Carl could say anything, Kevin's like, "Oh, what do they cost?" And I said, "Well, that would be $20." Hey, 5, 5, and 10, you know.
$20 is $20.
That's right.
Exactly. We have the
And
master himself here to enlighten us on that.
then I told him that Carl would sign them for free.
Oh no, that should have been another
That should
20
have been another
bucks.
$20 right there.
Nah, he's getting ready to go back to Estonia. He teaches English over
Oh,
there.
in Estonia. Good grief, yes.
Yeah, so I figure
Hey.
he's going to be spending his money enough doing that.
Yeah. It'll
Carl was
probably
happy with
be
the $20.
Carl, that may be the statement that defines Carl Whitman's life. He was happy with $20.
Yeah, kind of does.
in a little cup of ice cream.
No, and a big cup of gin.
Oh, hey. I was actually surprised today. Lindsay came back to the office while I was working on a blueprint for something that may never happen, but I wanted to get the design straight in my head. She goes, "Hey, have you got any plans to go to the liquor store right now?" And I go,
I do now,
"Well,
honey.
I've been wanting a bottle of rum for about 3 weeks, but people have been talking and saying that I overindulge, so I have been putting it off."
No, not you.
Okay, believe me, there are everybody talks. No, people are
It's
overly
only
concerned.
overindulgence if the police are involved. Okay.
Okay, and it doesn't matter if I nod off in the middle of it. Don't pour it out. I'll need that when I wake up. It'll only be about 15 minutes. Catnaps are a thing for older people.
So last night, after I left the impromptu green room, because I said I was tired and I was about ready to pull it in,
Mm-hmm.
hit disconnect. About 15, 20 minutes later, I wake up in my chair, no clue where the fuck I am. I'm like, what the, where? It didn't even register that I was in my home. I just had completely no idea where the hell I was. Then I went to bed, and when I woke up this morning at 7 a.m., I had no idea where the hell I was. And the thing is, no illicit substance consumption, period. And I didn't even take my pain meds last night, and no legal substances either. So, yeah, it's just, I was so tired and so drained, I had no idea where the hell I was.
When I
Well,
was in Iraq,
you have been fighting a lot of stress here lately.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
and drugs.
beyond the realm of possibility that you are just really tired from being stressed.
And drugs, legal drugs. Yes. When I was in
Well, like I
Iraq,
said, I didn't even have my normal dosage of that in my system either. So
that might be the problem.
Yeah, that's what people say when I haven't had my second cup of coffee yet.
No, sometimes coming down off of drugs is
Mm-hmm.
actually worse than going on to them. So it's because your brain goes, "What the hell? Where's the pain meds?" You know.
There's something that's not here that should be.
Yeah, exactly. When I was in Iraq, I didn't sleep. I was a very light sleeper. But the few times where I actually got to, like on a day when I didn't have to do anything and I got to sleep in, some of those days I'd wake up and it'd be like, you'd wake up and like, where the hell am I? And then, oh yeah, Iraq. Okay, now I remember.
That explains the camel spider.
The thing was,
See what they said?
I'm a very light. So I've won trivia contest in my sleep. Okay, that's
Ace. I'll have to remember that when Richie comes back. I'm sure he will get.
Wait, just put it. Wait a minute. Here we go. Just leave it right there.
Okay.
Richie comes back.
That'd be the first thing he sees. I can believe you, John. What's the matter?
Oh, I just heard sirens.
That's my ride. They went on by. Remember, I live on the main thoroughway through Danville.
You had the special light bulb lit on the porch where they go, oh, we're not stopping here.
It's the
no. When I was in
Kmart car.
When I was living at home, my silly mother would wake me up before she went to work. That she was working at Kmart, and she'd tell me what to do that day, and I guess I would have an intelligent conversation with her. And when she come home with the day, stuff wasn't done, and she's like, I told you to do that this morning. I'm like, no, I never talked to you this morning.
I don't remember that. It's like when I nod off in the chair and Lindsay comes back here and wakes me up, which is always a bad thing to do. If I nod off, don't wake me up suddenly, because I wake up.
You lash
out? Full smartass and not happy about being woken up, and then go back to sleep either in the chair or in the bed. Next morning, I don't remember anything. And it's not got anything to do with how much that I drink. If I don't drink anything at all and I'm woken up in the middle of the night, I do not remember being woken up or anything that I say.
Not really awake.
No. I'm not awake until I've had my second cup of coffee. If there's no coffee involved, there's no wakefulness involved. And it's got to be 2 cups, not just one.
Yes, the coffee puts me to sleep.
Oh, hell, some days I wake up and I don't remember having been asleep. Joe Dog, gas station sushi.
You think by now he'd know better?
Hey, wait a minute! It's Joe Dog.
Honestly, I don't think it really matters what Joe eats, because it's just. It could be Taco Bell. It could be oatmeal. It's the same result.
That's true.
Hey, we had a guy at work. If he drank a glass of water, he would embarrass Joe Dog with the
emissions,
gastrointestinal distress. And he was famous for it, and he just giggled about it like Joe Dog does.
Mm-hmm.
There's a child in all of us. Some of us just keep them hidden a little bit better. There you go, Richie.
Yeah, we have something.
Yeah, there's a little banner for you here from Ace Bonnie.
I had to go take care of an issue with Crow. They had to situate themselves differently in the bed because they were how they were is they've got this weird pillow that's kind of got two arms on either side of it to help them from shifting and moving in their sleep so that they don't roll on the bad leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And where they were, it was aimed back in the corner. So things started sliding so that they were in an uncomfortable position. So it started causing a pinch with the brace. So they decided to go more traditional in the bed. So it was trying to help them get that leg into a position further back because Misty's so short she couldn't reach that far in the bed to help position Crow's leg. So
It was a case of, Dad!
honey, Dad, yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, and the technical name or nickname, excuse me, for that particular pillow with the two arms is called a husband.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that.
Um, that's what
that's
they're
kind of
sold.
funny.
That's what they're sold at. It's something where you can sit up and read at night, and if you doze off, you've got those comforting pillow arms around you. And I get the imagery in the simile, which is probably because of my vocabulary, but yeah, and Thesis is absolutely right. Sleeping with a bad leg is no fun.
Thesis would know.
Yes, I've been there
Mm-hmm.
more
Same
times
here.
than I want to count.
Um,
Hell, once was more than I wanted to count, and it was definitely more than once.
oh, really? When my leg was broken, trying to sleep anywhere at any time was pretty much torture, whether it was in the bed, on the couch, in a lazy boy, whatever. It just didn't work. It it it, it was just um, how am I going to move in my sleep that's going to wake me up screaming in pain? Um, Still more comfortable than a catheter, I'll tell you that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
God, I was so happy to get rid of that thing. Um,
I slept on the couch when I had my boot on. It wasn't worth trying to get upstairs and sleep in a regular bed.
they didn't even give me a boot.
When I had a cast on my leg, I didn't like laying in the bed at all with it on, so I would sleep in a chair sitting up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have a cast. I was just told stay as still as humanly possible. And I go, okay, sniper, got it. Um, oh Lord. Although I got really good at levering myself off the couch onto my crutches by leaning forward and grabbing a post in the middle of the living room and pulling myself up so I could get on the crutches. Uh, Got a little bit easier with the walker, but that took about 2 months before I was able to graduate from the crutches to the walker. But, and even then, I didn't really start um being able to perambulate. Okay, look that up if you don't know that word, kids. Um,
Google it.
until I decided to ditch the walker and just hobble. And then I gradually rebuilt the leg muscles that had not been used for 3 to 4 months. And within about 5 days, uh, it hurt, but I was able to hobble pretty quick.
Mm.
Looked like Festus from Gunsmoke most of the time, but I didn't care. I was ambulatory. That
Mm.
was the important part.
When they first gave me my crutches, because of course, being my size, I needed bariatric crutches. Um, they gave me ones that were too short
Ooh,
by 6 inches.
Ooh.
The maximum height was 5'10".
you are way taller than 5'10".
I am 6'4". So we go in to swap them out to get the right ones, and the lady behind the counter is like, just go and bring them in. We'll go ahead and swap them out. And I'm standing there, and she's like, "Are you sure you're that tall?"
Hi, Grant.
And I'm like, "Yes, I'm sure I'm that tall. The maximum height on these are 5'10". There's a delivery driver that delivers to them on a regular basis, at the various medical supplies and stuff like that. He turns around and he looks at her and he's like, "I'm 6'2" and he's taller than me. Yes, he needs the
Yeah.
taller crutches." And it explains why for 2 days that I I was so tired trying to walk on those crutches, getting from the bus stop to the office, which was a half a mile, and then back to the bus stop, which was thankfully at that time that still same half mile. It changed later on, but anyways, it's like I'm like, why is this so much harder than I didn't expect it to be this hard walking on crutches. Turns out it's because the crutches were too short.
You
And
need
then
to
when they finally
giraffe
got me the right
crutches.
ones, when they finally got me the right ones, I'm like, hey, this works. This is a lot better. This is not
Mhm.
nearly as tiring. But oh hell yeah, that that was almost as miserable as walking that half block when my meniscus actually tore.
Hey,
When I didn't have anything to lean on. It those two situations were almost as painful as each other.
mm,
When I had my foot surgery, Carl booked a hotel room so that we didn't have to drive the 40 miles home. And I mean, it was a great bed, but getting in and out of that bed was horrible. And
mhm.
my boot was so that it kept my toes up because I wasn't supposed to walk on my toes. But I got home and got on the couch and I'm like, I am not moving for the next 6 weeks. But it was so much easier on the couch than it was on that bed.
Mm. Yes, I got lucky when my leg was broken. I had that center post right next to the armchair that I parked myself in, and um, although I didn't sleep much in the waterbed during that time period, I still had to go to the facilities, but they also had a wall that I could just kind of lean forward and grab and pull myself relatively vertical. Um, it was not a pleasant time, especially with the catheter. Thank God I got that thing out quicker than I got the um, recovery from the surgery to put my knee back together. But still, it was my right leg was a whole lot better muscled after that experience
Mm-hmm.
than my left leg, which is the one that had the surgery. And thankfully, a friend of mine decided, hey, we're going camping. And that was right after I had shifted to the walker and left the crutches behind. And at the campground, I decided, you know, doctor said come back next week. He'll tell me whether or not I can give up the walker. I'm not waiting on the doctor. I'm going to give up the walker right now and start trying to hobble around. Rapidly built the leg muscles back up that had atrophied from not being moved for, I don't know if it was 6 months or 4 months. An extended period, let's just say that. Um,
Yeah, that's Calvin. Grant. He's been a good boy.
I did have an unexpected visit by my first wife while my second was asleep in the waterbed in the bedroom, and I'm going, this is why I make preparations. Um, there was a Mauser pistol in that chair that I could cross draw at any time. Did not need to show it to my ex-wife, um, but I let her know that I was not able to comply with whatever ridiculous request she had at that time that I would do for whatever. I mean, we were already divorced. Everything was settled. The trailer had been hauled to a different location. Um, don't know how she tracked me down, but this was before the internet, so Google was not a thing. Neither was Google Maps. Um, who knows? Who cares? It was a long, long time ago. Uh, but I was infernally grateful for the defense mechanisms I had set up in my paranoia. Um, second
Just
wife
because
never
you're
knew that.
paranoid doesn't mean that they're not out to get you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Second wife never actually knew they were there because they weren't necessary. So, um, that reminds me, I need to go to the cemetery and put flowers on her grave sometime soon. Um, probably should time that with her son so we can go together.
I assume you're talking about number 2.
Yes, yes. Um, first one is in an urn somewhere. I do not know where, which is probably a good thing, even though um, Jack Daniels is going, hey, we needed the sales from that court. No, if my oldest daughter ever heard this, she would be utterly horrified. Um, and her 3 boys thought the world of their grandmother, and that's because evidently they never got to see the side of her that I got to see. So, mm, you know,
Probably
uh,
just as well.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. At least they got to see the good side of her that I got to see on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The side that made you
relationships
think that
can,
it was a good idea in the first place.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Some of us didn't see the good side of grandparents, and yeah, it leaves a scar.
mm, well, I don't contradict them. I don't try and correct them. I don't mention anything of the bad times around them because they've got their memories, and I don't want to spoil that. I mean, she's gone. What's the point?
It's not like you've got to prepare them for that kind of action being taken against them from that individual. It's let sleeping dogs lie.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Let the good memories remain intact. I will learn how to speak one day. It's not like I don't do it for a living. Um, oh dear. Yeah, matter of fact,
That
I'm a
quote sounds
writer.
awfully familiar.
One day I might even learn how to spell. Um, don't hold your
Nah,
breath.
that's what F7's for.
Yeah.
So, did everybody see the thing about Yellowstone National Park where that one geyser exploded or whatever it was?
No.
Oh.
I saw links to stuff, and I'm going.
There was this
If this isn't
boardwalk.
clickbait, I really
No.
don't want to
This really
know.
happened. There's a geyser out there, and of course, being Yellowstone National Park, they've got a wooden walkway that walks past it. So there's all these people walking by there, and they're sitting there, and the geyser was off. It didn't go. It didn't
on
go
a
at the
time
time it was
period.
supposed to. And then just all of a sudden, boom! There's this big explosion, big chunks of rock and mud flying off. It blew apart the boardwalk.
Oh shit.
It tore up the parking lot nearby. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. No cars were damaged. But there's a lot of they've had to close that whole area just for the time being. And they're not entirely sure what happened. It was something got clogged up, pressure built up, and caused it. So,
I was going to guess gas pocket or.
but they've got video. Of course, there were a lot of people out there when it happened, so they've got video and all sorts of stuff on it. But, could we? I don't know if we could show that on Dan's show or not.
Let's not chance it. I mean,
We're
we're already skating on thin ice as it is.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. We always do. That's the purpose of this show. Let's see how close to the thin ice we can get and not wind up being recovered 6 years later in a block of ice.
Now, if you're interested in seeing the video, abcnews.go.com. And then in there, you just have to look for Yellowstone geyser explosion.
Actually, I just found a good one where the guy from the USGS is explaining it. I'm going to post that one on Stupid O'Clock. So
Oh, yes, please do. Please do. Posting links is great. Showing stuff live in here.
Guess what? I cannot post it to Stupid O'Clock because somebody has turned off Stupid O'Clock.
There's that damn security update again. Hey, we've had people that are not able to access Aphelion from foreign countries.
I will post it to I will post it to Uncle Carl's Secret Humor. The
works.
Uncle Carl Secret Humor Group.
Yes,
that works.
That'll work.
Now, you know what's funny is all the regular miscreants that go to Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group are going to watch that all the way in, wondering where the boobs are or something.
Probably, yeah.
Or the train wreck or whatever.
Or the cats.
Yes.
Or the cats, cigars, something.
I owe Dawn an apology.
What'd you do now?
Oh, last night when I said, I need to get started writing Dawn a theme song for a show. Something that starts with a train wreck. And she just went, I mean, I got the Viv look and a couple of other looks too that I think she invented on her own.
I hear that train a coming round the bend.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah,
That train just might have made it. If I don't know. Okay, yes.
in my defense, I am a natural born smartass, and I
Welcome to the club.
usually have very, very poor brakes. Um, the safety valve has been turned off a long time ago. Don't. Old Charlie stole the handle of the train. It won't stop going. No way to slow down. Uh, and if you
Speaking of
don't know
train
that
wreck,
music reference, you really need to explore Jethro Tull's work.
speaking of train wrecks, let's see, there's a kid. Um, let me see. Let's see if I can find it here real quick. There's a kid. I want to say it's in Nebraska. I might be wrong about that. But let me see. Train wreck. Train derailment. Court. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. A teen has been accused of derailing a train, recording the crash, and posting it online. He's been charged with 2 felony counts of criminal mischief and going to juvenile court because he's only 17 years old. But prosecutors have filed a motion to have the case transferred to an adult court. None of the cars fell over, but one of the cars that he derailed hit an empty coal car and caused $350,000 in damage.
Oops.
Yeah,
That's not going to look good on your permanent record, kid.
That's a felony.
And that's why they're trying to get it transferred over to adult court. And they need to put him in jail for a very long time just to set a. And they need to video putting him in jail for a very long time and like post it on YouTube for all the other idiots that like doing that sort of stuff.
Put a camera on his cell for the next 3 to 5 years.
No, just when he's just video him being found guilty. The bailiffs come in, handcuff him, take him out, and watch him cry as he's being taken off to processing for prison. So.
Yeah, you don't want to have the camera on them in the cell because that still gives them celebrity status.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the interwebs in everybody's pocket every day.
Hey,
it needs to be documented very heavily in the moment, and then
forget about it.
The bastard needs to be forgotten.
Really, sweep it under the rug.
Not sweep it under the rug, but yeah.
No, don't anybody make any more references to it after that.
Do you remember Charlie TV?
Except we need to, yeah.
Do you remember Charlie TV from Willy Wonka?
Which Willy Wonka? The good one or the new one?
The old one, the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was the little kid that they had the TV thing that would shrink the giant bar of chocolate down to small, and then send it to the TV to kids. And he went over, jumped on the platform, and they turned him into the little itty bitty thing. And despite the fact that he went from being 4 feet tall to being 4 inches tall, he's like, "Look, Mom, I'm on TV." Yeah, that's where we went wrong right there. Now the Oompa Loompas get to sing about how being on TV makes you an idiot. And here I am talking about it on a video screen.
I was going to say it's a good thing we aren't on TV.
Really.
I did actually write a song about that, but it wasn't an Oompa Loompa song.
Okay.
Oh. Do I have to recreate those lyrics, or are I able to salvage them from my notebook of poetry being shredded? I do not know. Um,
Um,
I wondered when you guys were going to see that.
oh dear.
um,
Uh,
you know, one of my earliest memories from childhood. We took a class
Sorry, go ahead,
trip.
John.
We took a class trip to Hunter Art Museum here in Chattanooga, and they have a painting there that I want to say is called "The Wreck of the Old '97,"
mhm.
and it was one of their famous paintings in the museum. I can't remember who. I can't remember who, but I just remember that being my favorite painting. Of everything that was in the museum, that was my favorite painting, and that's. Yes. See here.
So going back to that one individual, he's going to go from derailing a train to, if he gets convicted and being incarcerated into a penitentiary, to having a train run on him.
Ooh.
I'm too pretty to go to prison. Yeah.
I'll be darned, I believe.
Should have thought of that beforehand.
I'll be darned, they do have it. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, what? Darn it. I hate it when they do that. See if I make this happen. Share screen. There you go. Dan, look at that, and you decide if you want it on your show or not. So,
I've seen it before. It's a beautiful piece of work. Yes, it's that is actually historic and has meritorious value.
you see.
It's
there
been-
is that. Wait a minute. Where is this?
That
I'm gonna
is
look this up. The Wreck of the Old 97, here on September 27th, 1908, occurred the railroad wreck that inspired the popular ballad. I didn't know there was a ballad. The Wreck of the Old 97. The
country music. Of course, there's a ballad.
Mm-hmm.
Southbound Mail Express train on the Southern Railroad left the tracks on a trestle and plunged into the ravine below. 9 persons were killed and 7 injured. One of the worst train wrecks in Virginia history. That's
Yeah. I'm trying to look at the style of the painting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You want me to throw that
No.
back?
It's fine. It's fine. The thought's still there. I still remember it. Believe me.
Kind of like Freddie Moses.
Exactly. Yes. I was trying to think of who it was similar
it was
to.
in 1943 by a guy named Thomas Hart Benton. And it was a gift of the Benwood Foundation to the Hunter Art Museum of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Is that style called primitive, Dan?
No. Well, it might be, but I wouldn't consider it primitive. I would consider it to be something a little bit more traditional, but still oh God. Now here my art professor's going, yes, it's organic and flowing, and I'm going, no wonder you said I was too gay to pass the class. Or wasn't gay enough to pass the class, actually. Thesis is there's a metal band that writes songs about serial killer cases, but the songs themselves are about the victims. If you talk about the killer, it keeps them famous.
Okay. Thomas Hart Benton, I'm looking at this on Wikipedia, was a painter, muralist, and printmaker. He was at the forefront of the regionalist art movement.
Okay.
And so he was a regionalist. Let's look that up since I got a link. regionalism.
Donna's right. It is very Grandma Moses sort of um,
Well,
rounded and
if you're
um,
familiar with American Gothic, the famous painting,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's rather angular, but yeah.
that's one
Um,
of them. That's in that same regionalist movement. Uh, Came about, arose in the 30s as a response to the Great Depression and ended in the 40s due to the end of World War II. Um, Thomas, well, strangely enough, he's in there. Grant Wood, who did American Gothic. Thomas Hart Benton, who did, the one we were just looking at. He was a teacher for Jackson Pollock.
oh wow.
Really?
That's definitely not traditional.
And then you had a guy named John Stewart Curry, who did a bunch of Wild West stories, stuff like that.
Yeah, it would definitely fit into that as well, especially with the style of the artwork.
If you were familiar with the album covers from the musical band Kansas,
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
used a lot of artwork. Tragic Prelude being one of the big ones, which was about its Civil War portrait that's in the it's in the State House in Kansas, which is how they got on the. I'm going to throw that one up there because everybody's going, "What the hell are they talking about?" I'm going to show this real quick.
Hey.
The Tragedy of John Brown. That's what that's called. And you might recognize it from the Kansas album cover. You can tell it's from the Kansas State House because there's a tornado in the background.
Hey, if you drive through Kansas and you don't see at least one tornado, you've been cheated. Actually, no, that's not accurate. But
just seems like it.
That's one of those places where a farmer will put an empty mobile home out in the middle of a cornfield, going, "Yeah, that's a designated decoy, so the tornado don't hit my house."
Have you ever seen? They got this thing called Car Hinge, and the guy took a bunch of old Cadillacs,
yes,
stood them on their nose with the tail fins pointing up, and made Car Hinge out of Cadillacs. They need to do that with old mobile homes in Kansas. Just to say, no, we didn't do that. The tornado did that. And
it would only last about a year before the next tornado goes, "Oh, mobile homes, here I go."
See, that's what we need to do to Russia is just start sending them mobile homes.
They're definitely big enough for tornadoes, but the climate's a little bit not conducive to that weather phenomenon.
Send the mobile homes; they'll have tornadoes.
The tornadoes will,
the tornadoes will follow if you build it. If you build the trailer park, it will come. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
During one wet summer, we had a farmer down south who took the top half off of a tractor and put it out in his field so that it looked like it had sunk down in the mud, clear up to almost the seat. And as you drive by on the interstate, you don't see the markings around it where he had been working and tamping the dirt down around it. It's only when you stop and took a picture of it that you, oh, wait a minute, that's not a whole tractor.
No, there's part of a cement mixer that was involved in a highway mishap, and they managed to recover the truck, but because the tank was full of cement, they left it there, and the local residents painted up like a space capsule and it's still there to this day because the cement hardened.
Mhm.
Nobody's able to tow that out of there because it's too heavy, and it's now an art installation. And you drive by and you go, "Did NASA lose something?" Because they went all out. I mean, the only thing that would have made it better if they'd tried to tie it into Star Trek or something and done the paint scheme that way and go, oh, up, um, little green men. Uh,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, there you go, John. It's going to be
Yeah.
sitting there for a long time because it is absolutely full of hardened concrete now.
It's up in
So
Oklahoma.
it's in Oklahoma. Okay, I thought it was further south, but that'll do. Uh,
Down in Florida, on the coast. I don't know if it's still there, but it used to be an artist colony, and all of the buildings were built like spaceships. So when you drove by on the ridge, you look out, and here's all
You've never
these
been to
trees.
Chattanooga before, have you?
Yeah, I've seen
I
that one.
I know the flying saucer really well.
But
Uh,
this is like 6 or 7 buildings, and it has all these trees around it, so that you can only see it from as you go on the bridge, and then you look over and there's all these spaceships. And you're like, they've landed.
um, there was an entire neighborhood of um, apartment complexes that had part of the infrastructure had survived a couple of hurricanes, but only the really solid parts. So you drive past it, and here's these skeletons of what looks like motels, a 2-story tall, absolutely see through, but the brick walls are still there, and you're just going, what? And you remember, oh, this is Florida. Um, Hurricanes are a thing. So yeah, it was like an entire neighborhood that got wiped out and was never rebuilt. All the wood framing and everything inside was just blown completely out. But the
After
brickwork and whatnot, the concrete blocks, everything was still there. So it had shape, still had a roof on it. I mean, you just drive by and you go, "That's frightening. Maybe we won't stay at this motel." Um,
uh,
somewhere near Panama City Beach.
after Katrina hit Biloxi, Hurricane Katrina went through. There were parts of Biloxi where when the storm surge came in, it just the houses were gone in that area. And
Hmm.
you'd be driving down the road and you'd see a staircase going up into someone's yard, a sidewalk going up into someone's yard. You'd see the concrete slab the house had been built on. You'd see ceramic and tile and stuff like this on the concrete slab, and a toilet.
Yeah,
Just, just a toilet. Middle of the person's yard, there's a toilet in the middle of this old foundation. Everything else is gone. And
that's because the toilet plumbing was the most solid part of that building.
well, it was underwater, so it didn't slosh away like the rest of the house did. So
Oh, there's somebody in this area that has, as part of the signpost for their community is basically a toilet mounted in the middle of a billboard, basically, to advertise them. And I'm going, sounds like a shitty place to live, but hey, they love it. They absolutely love it. Unfortunately, it's one of those. Um, am I allowed to call other rednecks rednecks? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
seriously. Um,
Do they own a bass boat?
it's
Um,
oh, they're mm, they're 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 nice people, but their belief in um, racial equality needs evolution. It really does. They should get with the program. They're well, yeah, they're nice people if you're white. Um, aside from that, no, uh, that's not something I want to promote. And no, what I just said is not promotion. It's just this is part of living in the South. You have people who refuse to let go of outmoded ideas, shall we say. Hope that was polite enough. Uh, and thesis, speaking of train wrecks, is not the title of your autobiography. It was, oh, somebody handed me a sword, and I went dot dot dot. Yeah, that's the title of your autobiography. Oh dear. Oh, thesis. Did you ever find out whether that the the very famous painting of a storm and it was the one that was um, Japan gets saved from a Mongol invasion by a hurricane, basically, that did its best to sink the Mongol fleet before they could get to Japan. I do not know what it is. I know the painting when I see it. I do not know the title. I know I had to learn this in art school, but that was half a century ago. So I've slept since then. And the actual title and meaning has escaped me in that interval. Oh, I told John before the show, but let's see if the green screen will allow me to show this.
ooh,
I have jelly babies. Real jelly babies.
Do we call you doctor now?
Um, I'd be glad to examine you however you wish, but no, that's I wouldn't think that I would get away with that. Um, Captain will do. Uh,
Reminds me of a friend's signature back in the days of BBS's. His signature was, "I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll take a look."
Uh, in these days of cell phones, that could be dangerous. It's not like one of my hearing tests where the guy put the little plastic coated probe in one ear and shined the light through there. Go, hey, I can see the next county from here, and I'm going, you. I promise you, there's something in between. It's usually ice cream or chocolate pudding, but um, the skull is not totally empty.
Yeah, I can hear the rattling.
Only when I nod my head very rapidly. Great Wave off of Kanawha was not based on that storm, but I think the artist did one that was. Great Wave was only one of 36 paintings that he did. I'm sure I pronounced Kanawha, Kanagawa, excuse me, incorrectly the first 3 times, but I hope I got close the last time. Class, no, I'll never have class.
If you had class, I could teach you.
I'm sure I'd learn several things.
Oh my!
Let me see.
Lindsay asked me tonight whether or not I had a whole harem of women, and I go, "Excuse me, I've only got one, and she's sitting on the couch asking me embarrassing questions."
See. Kikuchi Yosha. He's got several names, depending on where he was in his career. But he was the one that did the painting of the Divine Wind, the Kamikaze, the Divine Wind.
Yeah.
Which is where I know it from. So. And
Yeah,
he stopped
it stopped the Mongol invasion of Japan.
Right. Kublai Khan.
Yeah, one of the few defeats he had that wasn't at the hands of an enemy. It was, can't predict the weather. Kanagawa. Wow. Why am I still fixated on trying to pronounce that correctly? I'm a writer. Sue me. Please don't. I've only got a little bit of money. Not enough to even interest a lawyer, so.
I can always take it out of your hide.
Or my Jekyll. Speaking of which.
You didn't let me touch your Jekyll the last time.
It's because my wife was looking.
What about
This is a green room conversation we need to have Friday.
Not sorry.
Hey, Hallowcon is approaching.
I mean, you just set him right up there. I got a swat at him.
I set him up. You knock him down.
Yeah, I do.
Give the
And
local
John's
boys a
going,
hiding.
why did I say I was going to come on here?
No,
Actually, I'm reading something, but that's
we could tell. Um, oh, hey, we're doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've actually got 4 people watching, unless it's just us. Uh,
Well, one of them's me,
it. Ain't me. I never watch this thing. Um,
well, one of them's me, so um,
and Brandon and Grant.
yeah. Um,
Joe Dog left. Mike Jimmy had to go to work.
yeah. Hey, somebody got to make
I,
sure Aurora is taken care of, and um Luce does a damn good job. Mike Jimmy does a damn good job. Um, however their schedules go, they go.
well, they
Uh,
had kind of a bad week passing around the
oh,
cold.
oh, yeah. Uh,
Potato, but with the rhinovirus.
Yeah.
yeah. My oldest daughter and her family went to visit other parts of her family in Florida. Came back, they felt like crap. Tested positive for COVID.
Mm.
Had to
thing to do these days.
had to cancel Sunday's visitation with my grandson's biological father, which he was not pleased about, but
I should have kept it and gave it to him. Oh, who said
um,
that?
I just said, look, will the next available Sunday is in August, and we'll all have to be masked up um, because of
Kids on the
the.
Darth Vader mask.
Don't have the Darth Vader mask. I've got a Stormtrooper mask. Um, well, I mean, it's one of those neckerchief things that come all the way up, but I've got other more comfortable masks that still have my nose because I know you don't wear a N95 as a chin bra if you're. Oh, jeez. I I told everybody that we would have to be masked up. I recommended going to the county library where, since the child has so many health problems, he won't have to be out in the direct sunlight and risk anything that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll give him a place to explore and possibly maybe he'll want to get a library card. And um, his family lives very close, so he can start checking out all kinds of books and have fun the way we did back in the day when the library was the best place because there weren't any great big huge bookstores in existence. You just go to the library and check out books and read them and
Mm-hmm.
bring them back and check out more books and read them and bring them back.
Well, those who could get a library card.
Hmm.
Back in my time, living 15 miles north of the library, I couldn't afford to get one because they charge out of towners.
Oh, I never knew that. I
At
was
least they.
always I was always in the same county with the library that I wanted a card from.
Oh, I'm in the same county. I was in the same county. It's just you had to be in town. You had to be in
Oh,
Danville
in
to
the
get
city.
a free library card. And back then, it was only $20 or $30 back then, but back then that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, I'd have to wait till I could come to Danville and spend time in the library.
Mm. I can't tell you how many times I hopped on my bicycle and rode up to the I don't know if it was at the time the city library or the county library, but it was the only library that wasn't on the University of Georgia campus. And I would check out 4 or 5 books. I mean, I was a kid, they'd be kids'
Hmm.
books. And I'd go home. Summertime, I didn't have anything else to do. Um, I wasn't allowed to push the lawnmower or anything. We were in the middle of town. It was a tiny yard. Dad wanted the exercise. He mowed the yard. It took him like 15 minutes for the whole thing.
Right.
Uh, so all I had time to do was read books and watch Saturday morning cartoons and try and stay current on Dark Shadows because we had cable TV and Dark Shadows was on. And one of my cousins had introduced us to this addictive program. So, yeah. Um, what's Barnabas going to do this week? I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. And it's got
Hmm.
to be more interesting than G Force. Um, so I'd go to the
My
library
first
every
anime,
day and mhm.
What?
G-Force Battle of the Planets. My first anime.
Yeah. I mean,
Wait a minute.
don't
Wait a
get me
minute.
wrong.
Wait a minute. What about Gigantor?
Gigantor wasn't my first one that I saw. It was Battle for the Planets, but Gigantor is one of the first 5.
And of course, Speed Racer. And
Speed Racer was number 2.
Star Blazers.
I was introduced to that years later.
Oh,
Mm.
And of course, when my first Japanese afternoon TV show, Space Giants.
I don't actually remember that.
Was that a Ultraman sequel?
No, same type of thing. You had Goldar and Silvar, these gigantic space robots from outer space that came down, and then they had a wizard that accompanied them.
Okay.
Goldar and
That's
Silvar
the
turned
English.
into rocket ships.
That's the English title, but the official title is Ambassador Magma. Let me see here.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, no,
I
I
can't,
typed in Space Giants and it sent me to this. Let me see here.
I can't type that fast. I know we had
That one.
nothing I've ever seen.
Me either.
Hey, I couldn't even recognize.
Goldar, Silvar, Rodak, and the Mura family. Um,
This is an anime, but the original, the Space Giants, was the one that I saw as a kid was a live action. This is cool. I need to save this for later. Thank you for finding that, John.
you're welcome.
Yes.
Let me see. There is okay. There's a that's the one you're talking about right there, I believe. Oh wait, you can't see that, can you? I'm gonna.
Oh, good night, Grant.
Night, Grant.
Hi, Grant.
I'm sorry we bored you to sleep, but we have that effect on people. Matter of fact, that's why this show exists.
Hey.
Bored to death. Yeah.
No. We're up, so you don't have to be.
No, going back to libraries. I'm from Rossville, which is 15 miles north of Danville. Carl's from Oakwood, which is 10 miles, I think 8 to 10 miles east of Danville. And it's a wonder, we've tried to figure out why we never met at the library, because we both, being out of town, not affording a library card, would go there and spend a lot of time. And we're pretty sure we probably saw each other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's funny how our paths crisscrossed before we actually finally met. The night he hit on my best friend. Oh, come here, baby boy.
And before Grant goes to bed, he still likes libraries. Good man. There is nothing better for a child than going to a library and walking in and going, oh, wow, they have more books than mom and dad.
I like our new library. It's nice. It's modern. It's got little rooms that you can go in and not have to hear other people. But I miss the old one, which was a huge stone building. In fact, I could say it was like a museum, but it now is a museum. All the big, tall stacks, and now they're just only about 10 foot tall.
Mm. Well, they were always 10 foot tall. You're just taller now.
No, in the old library, they were probably about 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because with high ceilings.
Got a ladder to roll around and go,
Mhm.
ooh, I want that one.
Yeah, remember the scene from The Mummy?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what our library shelves look like.
I had an apartment like that once. The ceilings were so high. I built my own bookshelves, and they went up almost to the entire ceiling, and I had to have a step ladder to get up to the books and things that I'd put on the top shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And I had enough shelf space to where I admit I was showing off. I knew I had company coming. I made a pot of tea in a tea service, had the tray, the big teapot, and everything. It was all not pewter. Sure, certainly wasn't silver, but it had a silver patina on it. And before they got there, I put the teapot in the middle of one of the bookshelves.
And how did you explain? Oh, my teapot happens to be up there.
Basically, they said, Oh yeah, I don't drink beer. Would you have a cup of tea? And I go, oh yes, it's filed under tea. And went to the bookshelf and pulled a teapot full of piping hot tea and poured them out. And it's one of the greatest jokes I ever perpetrated. I mean, seriously, it took advanced planning, but it paid off in the end. I mean, you, it's like uh, Adam's Family when Gomez pulls a lit cigar out of his pocket. Uh, you go, oh, tea? Yes, here it is. It's alphabetically filed. Um, oh,
Is that reading the right way or is it reversed?
It's
I
a
am 12. Yes, right way.
yes.
Okay.
Right, Anna, you should have played along.
Oh,
Sorry, when you're talking about the huge stacks of books, my mind immediately took that and merged it with Monty Python. I believe it was from the Holy Grail, where the guy's like, yeah, she has huge tracts of
Tracts
land.
of land. Yes.
So I was just thinking, did you say librarian? She's got huge stacks of books.
Racks of books.
Yeah.
Huge racks of books. Yes.
So yes, I am
I
12.
am 12. Yes.
But I
no
don't.
problem with that.
You just improvised that one, didn't you?
But I don't want to get married.
What, the I am 12?
Yeah.
I said that the other night on something.
Mm.
No, I said it last night on the burning is whatever the hell it was last night.
Mhm. The burning
The
is
yarn,
fine.
the yarn is burning, but we love it. Um,
A comment was made, and I was just laughing so hard. I was just saying, "I'm 12." So yeah, technically, I guess I did improvise it. I just improvised it last night. I'm just reusing it again because it seems to be a running theme with me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Dawn when we need her? Oh, asleep.
Probably.
Mm, slacker.
Yeah, she's trying to keep the same hours as Ted.
Well, that's admirable. Won't work, but it's admirable.
And of course, she just had that massage, and she was hurting pretty badly after the show last night. Did she
Mm,
go in the green room, Rich?
not for long.
Um,
I know that I had brought
yeah,
it up.
if she showed up, she didn't show up for long. It's I think she bounced directly out. I think Joe and I popped over for a minute. And then I think Trey went to bed immediately after the show too.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I
it-
had started it earlier. It's like, if they didn't have a show, I was going to say green room, and they were like, well, let's do that afterwards. Well, I accidentally got into Burning in Love at 6 o'clock instead of 7. So after 3 hours of chat, I didn't need the green room anymore. I went to bed.
yeah.
After I woke back up from pulling a Dan last night, I re-leveled those new pieces of the soundboard in the green room. So
Mm, yes. I'm glad to hear that because they were recorded very, very quietly.
I was trying not to shout.
You
So
were trying not to disturb your wife.
I was
I
trying to disturb the
understand
next 3 counties.
completely. Yep, that's perfectly normal. Like I would know what perfectly normal is.
Speaking of
Oh, we
levelating,
know what it is. We just avoid it because it's over there and it acts kind of strange.
um, Rich, you did get the new expansion on World of Warcraft, didn't you?
Yes.
Have you seen what happens with the mounts on the not the whatever the dragons are called? If you get on a mount and say you're like a goblin, all of a sudden a new thing comes up and your mount basically flies like the dragons fly.
Oh yeah, it's they call it dynamic flight now.
Yeah, I was kind of mad because I was on Draenor and I started to fly and I couldn't fly. And I didn't look down at my what it turned. It was only by accident that I found out I had to hit the space bar a couple of times, and then I went like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to. You can turn it off. It's it's interesting. I I grew to like it very quickly. Misty hated it until Pandaria Remix, in which there's little floating globes that the easiest way to get them before anyone else gets them is to actually do the actual dynamic flight instead of a regular flying mount because regular flying mounts are so slow.
Slow, yeah.
Um,
Is
but
everything on yours extra big?
well, oh wait, no, you're talking about
Okay, like when you go on Draenor, when you go onto your mission thing, and you look at your followers to make sure their armor's up or something.
I'll be right back.
Your follower used to be centered in that little square. It is so large now that you see about maybe a third of it. And other things I've seen are out of proportion so that you can't see everything like you used to. And I can't figure out how to fix that.
I don't know if I will have that same problem. I would have to look at it on one of the other monitors to see. Because with what I use for my Warcraft monitor, it's a 34-inch ultra wide, so everything has a hell of a lot more room to do everything.
Okay.
So I'll have to double check.
Okay,
So
so if that's the
note to
case,
self:
then
go into Garrison message or go into Garrisons. Yeah.
okay. So if it's okay on your bigger monitor, message Carl and tell him he needs to buy me a 34-inch monitor. I mean, mine's pretty good size, but bigger is always better, right?
Normally, not always. Normally.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby boy. Yeah. Hey, I said I was sorry. Stop it. No claws. I'll kick you on purpose. I just discovered Calvin has decided that around my feet is a good place to take a nap. And I moved my foot.
Moved your foot and he took umbrage.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't claw me like he does Carl, but I did feel the tips right then. Probably because Carl doesn't beat him like I do when the claws come out. Carl's a softie. And everyone went quiet.
Sorry, I found a
Ah!
set of Norse runes,
Mm-hmm.
Futhark, for 3D printing that actually come with a commercial license.
Ooh. I should carry my rune stones and let you look at those. They're tiger eyes.
I've got a couple different flavors that I've made for myself through the years, and then somewhere in all of this chaos, I have a set I bought back in the day. They're just regular clay runes with velveteen knockoff dice bag, to carry them around in. Hell, I've had those since I was 18.
Oh, I wasn't planning on getting rune stones because I wasn't interested in learning how to read them, to tell you the truth. But when I saw this set in Tiger's Eye, I'm like, yeah, I need those for my altar.
The main reason I bought mine back in the day originally was to use as flashcards to actually learn the alphabet. And then just the other aspect of it kind of filtered in. It's one of those things like Tarot. It's um,
Oh, great.
the mass produced stuff, the artificially produced stuff, doesn't have the kick for a true believer in that that ideology.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a good learning tool. And if you are someone who does feel that those kind of things have mojo, sometimes maybe it's better to practice off of something that doesn't have anything infused in it first.
True.
Let's see. Did anybody flash Tesa's comment about World of Warcraft up
Oh,
yet?
sorry. Wait. That's
No, I
not what you
just
meant.
responded to it.
Okay. And then down here he just posted got Foxy a set of runes in her Oracle deck for Christmas a few years back. She's used them a time or three.
Of the decks that I purchased in my youth for that kind of thing, my favorite was the Druid Animal Oracle. That seemed to, no pun intended, resonate with me more than the Tro did.
I don't know why people assumed, but I have maybe half a dozen card sets, tarot cards. Someone gave me a cat. Someone gave me a dragon. Somebody gave me a witch, and I don't remember what the other 2 or 3 are. Like, okay, thank you very much. They're very pretty, but too superstitious to try to read them myself.
You have too many people that think that pagan immediately means Tarot.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like I have my when I decided on my path, I got my see if it shows up. It's 3 interlocked circles. I didn't want to do the Valknut because there's a lot of controversy about whether a living person should wear one and whether or not a woman should wear one. So I went with the 3 circles, kind of staying. And some lady saw it at the grocery store and was like, "Oh, I like your triskelion.
Triskelion,
Thank you. Yes."
a
And
Star Trek reference.
I'm like, it's not a triskelion. Oh, yes, it is. I'm like, no, these are 3 separate circles that are interlaced. Triskelion is one long line and they're kind of oblong. There's a difference.
Not to Star Trek fans.
Not to this broad either. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a witch. I'm a Viking. Deal with it. And don't make me mad, because I do have a sword in my hand.
Yeah, too many people are like, "Oh, I heard of one of those."
Mm-hmm.
Not to liken, not to put it on the same level, but it's kind of like the racist going, "I'm not a racist. I know a black person,"
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, no, you don't know the amount of research and everything I've done into this subject that you are just half-assed going, "Oh, it's this." No,
Mm-hmm.
it's this. I can show you the research.
Yep.
Um,
All you gotta do is watch an episode of Charmed, and you'll know what a triskelion really looks like. But yeah.
Yeah. The one from Star Trek is definitely different.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like at my family reunion. I wore a shirt that had Odin on the front, and it says, "I am the pagan that your mother warned you against." And then on the back, it's got the 9 noble virtues. Because we don't need commandments. We know what to do. And one of my cousins saw my shirt and laughed. And I'm like, if this were a Christian shirt, would you be laughing? Well, no. I said, well, this is a religious shirt. This is my religion. Should you be laughing at my religion? Well, I never heard of that. Would you like to? No, wait a minute. We don't prophesize like Christians do. Never mind. But by the way, I have found Jesus, and he's pissed that you've lost him.
Yeah, really. Pagan doesn't automatically mean Wiccan. There are a lot of different things that fall under that umbrella.
paganism was around long before Wicca was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Wicca
is based off of older stuff.
Thereabout.
Yeah.
Did it really start there? Because I thought it started in this. Well, okay. The version I learned started in the 60s in England. I don't remember the guy's name. I want to say it was Green something.
I can't
Green
remember
Hornet.
at this point. No, that's pointillism. Yeah. Oh, you're a gangster? Pop. Have a dart.
Well, yeah. And somebody once called me a heathen. I said, yes, I am. I'm a farmer's daughter. I am from the country, which is what the word heathen means. The original. Yep. So,
well,
you think you're insulting me, but you're not.
In the original, I am a barbarian.
And I can show you.
I speak a language that nobody can understand.
I'll speak a language you understand, but you're not going to like it.
Well, mine you only get after a few shots of Jack Daniels, but the rum is helping. Um, I haven't had to take any pain pills for the last hour and a
Me,
half.
Thesis being a daughter of Freya and having Thor as my patron, I don't run into that so often, but I do know many true Odinists who get really pissed at
Uh,
yeah,
this
the
comment,
peoples
yeah.
who do that.
Uh,
They claim they're
yes,
Odinists, but they're very racist and yeah.
yes.
But then again, you've got the same thing in Christianity.
Well, yeah, you've got. Mm, I started to say you've got the same thing in everything, but
Yes, praise bacon. Oh, I
and
think
next thing you know, we're gonna get onto the flying spaghetti monster, and
There
That's
you go.
exactly where my brain went next.
But strangely enough, the one thing I do like about the United Church of Bacon, um,
it doesn't have anything to do with Kevin.
raising
Sunday
money,
breakfast.
raising money for other charities. So
oh, nice.
yeah.
Mhm.
Buckland. Buckland was the guy I was thinking of about the
Yes.
Mm.
And you know what I was told? Don't read his
he's full
book.
of shit. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was
And
first starting down the path and I was asking, are there other books besides the Eddas that I should be reading? They said, here's a list of good books, and if the author says Buckland, don't get it.
Buckland or Cunningham or there was another one.
There's a woman too,
Uh,
and I can't think of her
the
name.
Llewellyn Press.
It's been so long.
Because they all three of them just half-ass everything. So yeah,
oh, what's wrong with perseverance? Hey! Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is forbidden if you do your sauce correctly.
That's what she said.
That's not Parmesan.
Covered with cheese.
No, I actually went through the ancestry DNA and found out I'm a Turkish Viking. It's just like it started over here. It went all the way around the northern part of the Mediterranean, up through England and Scotland, and then took a detour up towards where up to where Mike Jimmy lives. And I'm going, that explains so much.
What was the name of that Viking tribe that wound up? They wound up serving the Ottoman Empire in Constantinople.
Do not know.
Starts with
Harold
V.
Bluetooth.
Veneri,
The what?
Harold Bluetooth was one of them.
Oh yeah.
Vanagrarians or something like that.
I'm sorry, I keep hearing vinaigrette dressing. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Where do you think it came from? They wound up being basically the Praetorian Guard
For the
for
Ottoman Empire.
well
Yeah.
the eastern what's the word I'm looking for?
Varangians.
The Varangians. Thank you, Varangians.
Came from Kievan Rus, immigrants from Scandinavia, predominantly immigrants from Sweden, also from Denmark and Norway. Kept an almost entirely Norse cast of the organization until the late 11th century.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the rulers screwed over Harold Bluetooth. And then to get into the city, they faked his death, put him in a coffin, put all the weapons in the coffin, because they're like, yes, you can come in, bring the body, don't bring any weapons. And they just loaded the coffin up with weapons, walked him in, surprise, and handed out weapons and laid siege.
Yeah, really.
Then there was another time that they Bugs Bunnied under the wall, and I think they hit the river instead.
Knew they should have took that left turn at Albuquerque.
So that's like, yeah, I do not like the cold. I don't care how Scandinavian my blood is. I do not like the cold. And people go, well, how can you claim to be Viking and from Scandinavia if you don't like the cold? They don't necessarily go together.
No,
A lot of Vikings didn't like the cold either. Why do you think they wore so many furs?
Yeah. And why do you think they kept going other places?
I don't like getting hit in the face with an axe. Doesn't mean I'm a Viking. You know, it's
Well, what most people don't know was that they went down around France and in the Mediterranean,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got 11% Italian blood to prove it.
And some of them wound up in Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
we're
went to
quite
the middle of
happy
Europe,
with
too,
the climate.
to go through places.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beautiful thing about a longship. It was designed so it could go very well on sea or on river with such a shallow draft. That's why so many cities feared them, because you never knew when they were going to strike. The biggest way that you could defeat a Viking incursion is to put a wall around your city, and that was because the Vikings were like, fuck it, yeah, we can do it, but there's this other city another couple hours up the river here. We don't have to put in as much work.
They don't have a wall. Let's go there. Yeah, that's my people.
They work smarter, not harder.
Oh, there's a wall. There's not a mall. Let's go.
There's a wall. There's nothing we really, really need here. We can get just as much loot there in half the time. Let's do this one, and maybe we'll hit this one on the way back. And then they would hit that other one on the way back.
You have to be very, very careful to get loot, pillage, and rape in the right order. And usually it was, hey, you're cute, I'm taking you home. It wasn't on the spot and left behind.
Hey, like they said in Blazing Saddles, stampeded the women, raped the cattle. It's...
Oh Lord!
Actually, it's you left one out. It's loot, pillage, rape, burn. You've got to do the burn, the last one.
Yeah, you got to get that one right.
Well, it was rape.
Otherwise,
loot,
the
pillage,
other three are pointless.
Rape, loot, pillage, burn, rape. You said rape twice. I like rape. Me personally, no. That's the line from the movie.
Yeah.
But now I'm just having a mental mashup because of John. Blazing
Stampeding
Saddles
cattle.
was
Much
done
of crime through the
with
Vatican.
Vikings.
Pinky. It's
Oh, that would be a good one. There's your
Yeah.
there's your next story.
Yeah.
There's your next story, Rick.
Motherfucker. It's
It's basically
It's gonna be-
Monty Python, but a little bit later than King Arthur.
Nobody expects the Vikings.
Nick's gonna
and
get so mad at you guys because you're gonna keep delaying the fire.
Well, Nick can be mad. If he wants it that bad, let him write it. I'm not. Yes, thesis. Birding is the last bit of the schedule.
You gotta
So
get
no matter what Joe's show is called, burning is not love.
the burning comes after the love.
Basically, I'm waiting for the day where it's I love the yarn burning. And him and Trey are going, oh, you bastard. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
The burning is yarn code. Do you smell burnt toast?
Not the cat.
Really? Oh, excuse me. The bread is burning.
Oh Lord. Okay, this is morbid. But after bread passes away, if they have bread cremated, would he be toast?
Oh God, I hope neither one of them watches this show.
Oh God, I hope I don't remember that to say that in front of them.
I know. You can't wait, can you?
Oh,
My goodness. Okay.
Gotta make sure if I go out to the Shakespeare thing on Saturday that I don't say that because they'll have pointy things to stab me with and I can't hobble away fast enough.
We are 2 minutes away from 2 hours of the show. As much as I'd like to go on forever, our biggest fan is going to complain if we run over 2 hours. And sorry, Carl.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Joe Dog. I was going to say he's too short to be our biggest
No,
fan.
Joe Dog's going to pop in here in like another 40 minutes. He's got an alarm set to make sure that I didn't just nod off and leave the show running with the camera view at the top of my bald head.
I'm sorry, reading Thesis' comment.
Highly suggest not saying that to either of them, but if you do, wait till I'm there. Yeah.
Or at least have someone recording it and post it after my demise.
All right, I'm going to.
We'll have to get Rich one of those talking tombstones. It's got
We can do it at StompCon.
You record the message in it, and it's got like a solar panel across the top so that it stays charged up. Motion sensor. So every time somebody walks by, hey.
Tips
It's
his
time
hat
to say
the
goodnight,
mourners,
Gracie.
smiling past. I'm switching over to Brand now so I can go to the bedtime story. Thank you all for being here. At first, I was really worried that I would just go.
I popped into the wrong
I
room.
think I'm a clone now, and just
You are, actually. I've seen it.
several.
Unfortunately, the Filipino porn bot clone of you is actually much more interesting.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Although, oh,
At least
no,
this show has a happy ending.
I am definitely not going to say that.
Um,
There was a green room comment that tried to escape, and I suppressed it. So let's just leave it.
Well,
at
write it
that.
down so you can say it tomorrow night.
yeah,
No, I don't
yeah,
ever
a
want
green
to
room
say it.
notebook. Yeah.
John might hear me. He may be shorter than I am, but he can still beat the crap out of me.
I do not beat the crap out of people. That's I'm smarter than that.
Yeah, you just
He also
do it
has
the way where
C4.
you'll never get caught. All right. Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
And I'm not gonna scroll up and get one of Joe Dog's good night, everybody's. But thank you very much for being here. Whether you're here while we're doing the show, whether you are on the show, or whether you will watch it later, we all really appreciate it. If you're in Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group, I'm pretty sure there'll be a green room tomorrow night.
Oh, Rich,
and
before
or
we
later
go,
tonight.
I put
It's
a Viking comment on Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group just for you.
I'll have
Oh,
to
Lord.
read that later. Oh Lord, yes indeed. All right, folks.
We're out of here.
I'm sorry we have to go, but
No, you're not.
yes, I am, because you're some of the most fun people I get to spend time with, and it's time to hit the end credits, and I hate that.
Wait, before you go, I want to say one last thing. I saw it today. It popped up on my feed. I don't know. They took a watermelon, cut the top off of it, pulled all the watermelon out, put it in a blender, added crack and rum to it, poured it back in the watermelon with some ice cubes, and had it as a punch bowl for watermelon crack and rum punch.
Sir, you are mad, bad, and dangerous to know.
I thought I'd mention it because it sounds like something you might enjoy on a hot summer's day.
It sounds like something Joe Dog would have at Hallowcon. You're trying to arrange that now. Yes, now I see. I'm a little bit slow on the uptake.
Nerf, what are we going to do today, Brain? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over.
Get everybody well fed and drunk. And hopefully they'll enjoy Hallowcon and want to come back. Good night, everybody. Yes, that was a little bit acerbic there, but I'm sorry.
Just run the creds.
I'm going.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down. will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.